Chevry here, business and clarity coach, and on today's Coffee and Clarity chat, I am going to be sharing a little bit more about how it was my spirituality and not systems or strategy that actually skyrocketed my success in my business and in my life. So if you've been listening in so far, you probably know a little bit about me, but in my career, I was always the very masculine, get it done, I don't have time to explain, climbing the corporate ladder kind of person. And I really, when I began my business and I started in network marketing and then moving into life coaching and now business and clarity, sort of spirituality coaching, whatever, kind of a combination of everything. So, but moving into my business, I took a lot of that energy with me and I was like, I'm going to get it done. I'm going to make tons of money online. I'm going to help people, but I want the freedom of, working for myself. I want to make all kinds of money and just, have this amazing business and have this success. And I brought that energy into my business. Right. And so, but what I really wanted deep down was the feeling I was trying to create with those successes. And that feeling was wholeness, that feeling was accomplishment, that feeling was peace, because in my day-to-day life, I did not have that. It did not matter what I accomplished. It did not matter how much I was doing, how much I was winning, how much I was succeeding in my work, in my business, in my weight loss, in the gym, lifting weights. It did not matter. I always wanted more. I was never satisfied. And that's not to say that I don't have goals and things like that now, but at the time it was almost this anxious energy. Well, it was an anxious energy of how do I keep getting ahead? When is it ever going to stop? I was never satisfied. I was never just at peace with who I was. I did not know how to celebrate my own accomplishments. I would move right on to the next thing. And I really, I started hitting walls in my business because I would have, a successful launch or I would have a client success. And then it would just be okay, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? How do I keep going? And it felt like I had to be the driving force behind everything. And that's because I did have to be the driving force behind everything. I was trying to control every little piece of my business. I was trying to do it all. I was trying to push and get it done. And I was not opening myself up to the universe to allow miracles to come in and to allow the universe to do its work, right? If I think I can control everything in my business and in my life, why would I block this higher power that has so much more power than I do in creating miracles for myself? And that's what I was doing, right? I was trying to control every little piece of everything. I did not know how to let go. I did not know. And so there came a point, I had a business going. I finally had things set up. I had my website. I had this amazing launch. I had a group program running, all these amazing things were going on. And then I went on this retreat and I just found myself feeling like I was falling apart. And I was like, this isn't what I mean to create. This is not the life. Why do I still feel powerless? Why do I still feel like I have to give more? Why do I still feel like I'm never going to get there or catch up? And so I really had to realize that it was my spirituality that I needed to get in touch with. It was waking up in the morning and being grateful for what I had. And the old me would have said oh, that's not productive. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for the woo-woo stuff, right? I was all get down to business kind of girl. And I did not understand that when I got back in touch with myself and the fiery and passionate and creative side of myself, not only was my business going to run better, but I was going to feel better while running it, right? And so I actually ended up working with an energy and transformation coach. And let me tell you, that was one of the most incredible, but also most uncomfortable experiences of my entire life, doing that work. And it was deep energy healing work, and actually asking myself to open up, to be vulnerable, to share things that I've never shared with anyone, and to really just open up and understand that I am whole. I have so much to offer. And when you just can surrender, and that doesn't mean like you sit on your couch and you meditate and, all your business will create itself. No, it means you take aligned action. It means you listen to those little nudges that the universe, your higher self, the divine, God, whatever word you want to use, you listen to those nudges. And even when it doesn't make logical sense in the masculine, right? Our feminine energy and our intuition is so incredibly powerful to guide us and to listen when we listen, right? And this is what I had to understand. It's how I actually launched my most recent mastermind and high level program. It's, how I had my first almost 7K day in my business. It was how things actually moved forward, and part of that was listening in and starting to put some systems in place and things like that, of course, in my business to support my soul, to support the passion that was in there, to support the impact that I'm making so that I can show up as an even better version of myself and continue to grow and serve my clients on a higher level, right? But when I was just pushing and forcing and trying to do everything myself and trying to control everything, control every outcome, overthinking everything, like, you guys, I was in anxiety, like just a ball of anxiety. And I was still snapping at people closest to me, still not being able to move through the weight issue. I've kept this weight on for a couple of years, and part of that I know was coming off of my hormonal birth control and, stress and things like that. I know there's a lot of contributing factors over the last year, but once I started working on my spirituality, and once you feel whole, then everything else falls into place. Right? You don't have the mindset struggle of how do I take care of and nourish my body because I honor her, right? I know that she is this container that I experience this world with, and it's a whole different level than like counting calories and trying to figure out what you're eating on a day-to-day basis and being stressed and over anxious about it, right? Like, that's not what our bodies respond to. And I didn't mean for this to go into a weight loss talk, but that's just, one piece of it, right? And so being able to actually connect with my spirituality, because I was never religious. I grew up Catholic, but I never connected to that. And once I truly understood that, like, God and spirit and whatever it is you want to call it is already within me, and I can tune into that and tap into that power like whenever I want to, it changed everything for me, and I just feel like a totally different person. So not only am I having business success, not only have I left my 9-to-5 and I'm working for myself full time, but I'm healing my relationships, I'm healing my body, I'm healing my spirit. Like, you guys, I can't tell you, even in the last couple of weeks, how many times people have come up to me and said, just, you're glowing, you look radiant, and it's because I have shifted. It's because I feel whole. It's because I know that no matter what happens around me, like, there's just so much beauty and joy and peace and love and all of these things. And, we can focus on that if we choose to. And so finding my spirituality is what connected me even deeper to my clients, to what they need, to how I can show up and serve them in the absolute highest way. And so it was never about how do I put a system in place to make more money, right? Even though sometimes that's what I thought I wanted, I was really trying to create this feeling of wholeness, this feeling of purpose, right? This purpose for me to go out there and help and inspire and impact and change the lives of these other women. I mean, that's what it's all about for me. And by doing that, everything else falls into place. The systems fall into place. You know when to make an investment. You know when to hire someone. You know when to get help, when to do certain things, because you listen in intuitively. And when something's not working, instead of judging ourselves, like, we just find another way. And so all of those things for me was about getting back in touch with myself and actually listening and just letting go and letting things flow. And that's where the magic happened, right? So it was never about the money. It was never about the success. It was always about feeling whole, feeling like I had a purpose, feeling like I was actually making an impact and doing what I love. And like, that's the bottom line for me. And I'm sure that if you're listening or if you're following me, like, that's the bottom line for you too. Because we always have enough. We always have enough money. You know, the money will come. It will figure itself out as we connect to our higher selves, as we show up and serve, as we let ourselves grow and be uncomfortable and vulnerable and share ourselves with the world. When we share that light, when we share that healing, when we share that transformation with other people, that abundance will flow into your life. And that's the bottom line. So let me know. I would love to hear from you if this connected with you, if you've had a similar journey. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know about yours. So until next time, for the Coffee and Clarity Chat.